Hi, Garrison School third graders. How are you? This is Mr. Schlapak doing the video. You probably know my wife, Mrs. Schlapak. Some of you have her in class. And I teach math at the high school, Dover High School. So maybe in a few years I'll have some of you in class. I have students in class now that have had all your teachers. Maybe not Miss Gagnon. She might not have been there that long. But I've had everybody else has had teachers that your third grade, and they asked me today to do a little bit of work with you on fractions, and you got a paper that had some cutout pattern blocks, because if we had known, we would have let you take some pattern blocks home with you from Garrison before we have this remote learning. So hopefully you maybe colored them a little bit and cut them out, and you can be kind of doing some of the math that I'm doing with you with the fractions. So do as much as you can on with the figures that you have. You can write anything down that you want, and pause the video if you need to pause the video. So let's start off with what we have. We have a yellow hexagon, and we're going to call that one our whole. So when we talk about something as a whole group, it's going to be based on this one hexagon. And so this one hexagon, yellow hexagon, is going to equal 1. Okay? So with the red blocks, those are your trapezoids, and it takes 2 trapezoids to make a whole, and we have 2 of them. So we have 2 of 2 to make this one whole. And so that's what we do with the red ones. And that would also mean this, that if we only had one red one right here, that would equal 1/2. Because we have 1 red block out of 2 for the whole. So we have 1 out of 2, and that's why we call it the 1/2. Okay? Let's move on to our next layer. The blues and the greens. Blue. One of these is called a rhombus. Multiple rhombuses are called rhombi. So we have 3 rhombi here, and we have, so that 3 of 3 equal the 1. It takes 3 of each of the rhombi to make a whole, and we have 3. So 3 of 3 equal 1. That would mean right here that a single one is equal to 1/3. 1 out of 3. Here's 1 out of our 3 when we're dealing with the wholes. Okay? So there's 1 out of 3. And then we have the triangles, the little guys. You got probably a bunch of those floating around in front of you. It takes 6 of the green ones to make a whole. So 6 out of 6 is going to equal our 1. And then a single triangle, single green one, we're going to call, you probably guessed it, 1/6. Okay, so that's 1 out of 6. There's 1 triangle out of 6 related to the whole. Okay, so that is our basic starting point for this. Just kind of getting used to the names of each of these. 1/6, 1/3, and 1/2. And then, as we talked about with our yellow, that's our whole. That's what we call 1. And that's all it can be, is our 1 whole, our yellow one. Okay? So, let's move on to the next thing we're going to do. if you could get 2 of your green triangles and maybe put them like this, maybe they are a little straight up like this if you want. So if we have 2 green triangles like that, we have 2/6. Remember, one of these is 1/6, and there's 2/6. So my next question to you is this. And if you need to pause the video, you can always pause the video. Which shape in front of you is equal to that? That will match up to it. And so if you need to pause the video, you can, and maybe you can put them on top of each other. And if you do, maybe you got that. The blue one equals 2 green ones. And what did we call the blue one again? Do you remember? 1/3. So that what we can do is say that 2 of the 6ths equals 1/3. And so what I'd like you to also do right now, and again, you can pause it if you want to, maybe you're starting to see kind of a pattern with the numbers that we have here, 2/6 and 1/3. How is the 2 related to the 1? How is the 6 related to the 3? You know, maybe you could try to start to figure those out. We can also write it, and this might be a new word for you guys. We'll call it the algebra version. The algebra version of this is 2 greens equals 1 blue. See, we're saying 2 greens is equal to 1 blue. So, you know, I'm not sure how much your teachers have been doing algebra with you. Maybe a lot, maybe none. But it's kind of a class we do at the high school. So I'm giving you guys some extra stuff on this to get you ready for the high school. The algebra version. 2 greens equals 1 blue. So now let's move up to the next one. What if I gave you that? And what is that? Three greens, 3/6. Could also, the algebra version is 3g, but fraction version, it's 3 of the 6. Take 6 to make up a whole, 6 triangles to make up a whole hexagon. And we have 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. So 3 out of 6. 3/6 we'll call that. Is there a pattern block that will match that? You can pause if you need to. Sometimes it helps to put the blocks right on top of each other to make sure we know what we got. And so there we go. So 3/6. And what's that equal to? Do you remember what we called the one red one? 1/2. So 3/6 equals 1/2. Algebra-wise, 3 greens equal 1 red. All right. Take a look. Spend a moment. Maybe pause it. Do you see how 1 and 3 are kind of related? How 6 and 2 are related? Just kind of start to notice those types of patterns in the numbers. It's helpful to see that. Okay? So there's that one. Let's try one more on this. So we did 2/6, then we did 3/6. What do you think we're going to try right here? How about 4/6? So there's 4/6. Can also call that 4 green. But it's 4 of our 1/6 blocks that we have right there. And what's going to be equal to that? How about this? And it might help to put them right on top of each other. That's okay if you did that. And I think that's really helpful to do sometimes. So, 4/6 is equal to 2 of our 1/3 blocks. So 4/6 equals 2/3, algebra-wise, to blue. So that gives us our first experience using the pattern blocks to kind of see what are equal to each other. Now, if you really want me to do another one, I can, because I like doing these, especially for third graders, because I used to teach third grade a long time ago. And it's fun to do. So, you can tell your teacher if you want me to do another one, and I can take this to the next level. But this gives you a little bit of practice on pattern blocks and fractions. Hope you guys are doing pretty well. I'll see you around.